Good afternoon, everybody. This is the centerofthenet.com Evostatus 4A emergency special news break. Happy update. Okay, here's the situation. Last night was not a very good night. I started to fall asleep at 4 o'clock, and from 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, it was more of a fight to get my eyes open than to do anything really positive. I was working on the structural layout. I wanted to work on the groups last night, but I was focused on the business news section. And the business news section, I was trying to do some experiments with laying out the layout of everything, and it wasn't very successful. I mean, it was okay. But there's some more that I want to do with it than what I did. I was experimenting with it. But don't worry, we're going to get to that. I was trying to make 2 columns and stuff like that, deciding how many posts I'm going to put in there and what they're going to look at. I was doing what I shouldn't be doing. I was working on the layout. This is my son, Bobby. Say hi, Bobby. And my other son's in the other room. But he's going to be with us today because he's a future, and the center of the net's a future. So let's get off of the news. So last night I was not as productive as I wanted to be. I did realize that there's another little challenge that we have to work on. I did create the front page, and I put the Evostatus updates on the front page from the Evostatus section. But as you can see, it shows you there's no comments, and more importantly, if you wanted to comment, there's no way to comment. So there's no comments and no choice. In Chinese, they say "mei bang fa," no choice. If you want to make a comment, you got to click on the title where it says the update number, and you have to go to that area and then click to make a comment. I'll fix that later on. It's I spent an hour trying to debug that, and the fix is in the works, but that's not very important right now. Okay, here's the big news. The big news is, you know, I told you I was working on the flowcharts, trying to understand the flowcharts. Working on the groups, trying to understand the groups, and making subgroups. And as I started to make subgroups, I had to make what's called taxonomy. I had to make the keywords to describe the groups. And you can't really make the keywords until you think about the structure. And when you have to really think about the logic of the structure and the design, so you make the correct key categories for key grouping. To do that, I had to pull out my favorite mind map software, free mind, open source, from my friend in Germany. Hello, Richard. Thanks for the tip. But I created a flowchart, and you know what? Eureka! Wow! Woo! Been working on the centerofthenet.com for many years in my head, and try to do it with my hands, and I wasn't so good. And now Drupal's so powerful, I have created the solution. Okay, I just created something so wonderful that I'm so happy about it. So I'm going to read the mind map to you. I'm going to look at my flowchart. I'm going to describe to you the status of the site. Okay. I had to think, okay, we're going to have user groups, okay? And I told you that I wanted to bring information and media to the masses. I want the masses to create the media. I want to see humanity evolve and do more than just produce something that makes money and makes people work for 49 hours a week. I want to see some power. I want to see us you know, let's go into space. Let's do Star Trek shit. Let's do something cool. Here's what the deal is, okay? Groups are called Evo clusters, okay? That is a group system. This is a collaborative site. This is created from the site. Yes, I'm putting it together, but I don't want to be the man in charge. I don't want to be the overload. I don't want this to be a site. I don't want this to be a platform to tell you about how my day is or how I feel. As much as you know, there'll be places on this site that I'll do that, but you know what? When I do that, it's just going to be like any other user does that too. Everybody will have that option. Okay, so the Evo clusters, I broke them down into 3 master areas: the foundation Evo cluster type, the foundation Evo clusters, and the created cluster content types. Okay, those are kind of the wording is really hard. So let's take a look at it. First, we're going to talk about the controlled content submission area. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Well, how are we going to give the information into the groups? Who's going to give that information? How are we going to use the groups? Well, there's going to be two ways. There's going to be controlled contribution, where somebody controls what you give to the group, and there's going to be free contribution, where you and the users are in control. Okay? So free contributions, we don't need to talk about that. That is free. You could do what you want to do. Okay? Now, that is underneath the scope of a little bit of structure, but that is basically free. So let's look at the controlled contribution. There's three kinds of ways that the information is going to be controlled. It's going to be controlled through individual user controlled, okay? Which means if you create your own group, then you are in charge of that group. You're controlling the other people, and you're controlling what they do there. Okay, there's going to be the center of the net controlled, which is going to be some of the groups that I create, which is basically the system, but the system is collaborative, which means it can be changed however the people want. But it's a foundation. It's like, I don't want to say that I'm in control of it, but there's got to be like an administrator, and that's kind of what the center of that control type is. And then we have collaboratively controlled, which the community as a group will control its own information. Okay, so the camera's right there, man. So well, even a baby can understand it. So I know it's easier when you look at flowcharts. So let's talk now about. Okay, so we talked about controlled content submission area, the types of control, self-control, and controlled contribution. So then there's free user creation area and the collaborative areas. So we're going to talk about those. In fact, I could probably take them out of the flowchart since I defined them. But all right, so listen, the flowchart's in your head, okay? Okay, but it's right here on the screen in front of me. I wish I could share it with you. Yeah, you'll see the product though soon. So what time are we at? We're at 7 minutes. Okay, we got to hurry up. So then we have the user create. We're going to have different areas, okay? Different areas called foundations, okay? Foundations. Foundations are the groups of the Evo clusters. The groups of the groups, okay? These are the root group, okay? So we have the user created raw area where the users go in and they want to make a group. They want to make a group about their grandmother's tree. Then they do it in their user creation raw area. Okay, now and after that I'm going to have the community created foundations. Okay, well, what is the community created foundations? Well, hold on. First, let me tell you about the Mass Evolution Center. Okay, the Mass Evolution Center is going to have a wiki. Okay, a wiki. The wiki is going to be about. Well, it's going to have a wiki, it's going to have forums, it's going to have editorial, okay? These wiki, these forums, these editorial, this is very generalized. They're there to decide what the people, what the users would like to create. If there's a great group, if the group is about, like the group I'm doing about Evo campuses, about online learning, or if they have a group that they want to do about a special editorial section, if the community agrees that that should be part of the main site structure, then it will move out of the Mass Evolution Center into the community created foundations. Okay, those community created foundations are what you see in the left side of the menu, which is being developed, called intelligent. I think it's called intelligent design. Okay, let me see here. Intelligent design. So after it moves out of the Mass Evolution Center, which I'm going to call maybe the Evo Cluster Labs or something, then it's going to say, okay, well, the community likes this. It's a good idea. We're going to make this a foundation for the community. And it's going to be the community created foundation. Okay, and then after that, we're